Hey guys, it's Stephen Howell here in another video for you, and today I want to share something with you that can be an extremely powerful tool in your business that can make you a lot more money. So definitely want to make sure that you write this down, pull out a piece of paper. This is going to be a short video, but I'm going to bring the heat for you and give you a powerful concept that took me a while to learn. And I just want to give it to you guys right now. It's gonna make you a lot more money, save you a lot of time, okay? All right, so it's this. Learning that every lead is not a deal, okay? I want you to learn that every lead that you generate in your business is not going to be a good lead. It's not going to make you money. It's not going to be a deal. And in fact, learning how to say no in your business, in your real estate business, is going to radically improve your success rate, okay? It's a skill that must be developed. You have to be able to learn how to analyze deals, and you need to learn what's a deal, what's not a deal, and when to say no, okay? When I started my business, I was hungry, and I encourage you to be that as well. I'm sure you are, right? You want to get results. And, for me, I was like, oh my gosh, like every lead that I come across, if I just say the right thing on this calling script, if I just ask the right questions, if I just, go on the right appointments, if I just get the right leads, if I just position the offer in the right way, then I'm going to be super successful. I'm going to get a deal done, right? And if the lead doesn't work out this way, then I'll do this with it. And I had all these plans, right? And everything that came across my desk, I was bound and determined to make money on it somehow, to make it into a deal. And that kind of kept me spinning for a while, right? So I want you to realize the truth, and the truth is that every lead is not a deal. Actually, 80 or 90% of the stuff that comes across your desk, you're going to want to say no to. You're going to want to be able to recognize the either dead deal cues very quickly and maybe put them in a follow-up pattern where we check in with them. Or, we want to make an offer, move on, and on to the next lead and have a lot of marketing going, right? Every lead that comes across your desk is not going to be a deal. There are good leads and there are bad leads. So it's a very, very important concept, okay? It's not always just about what you say or what you do. It's recognizing the lead, recognizing you, for lack of a better term, it's like you're out there and you have a metal detector and you're hunting for gold, right? So being able to sort and sift through the good leads, through the bad leads, and act quickly is a skill that doesn't get developed overnight, but when you become aware that that's important, then subconsciously you start to pay attention, like, oh, okay, that's what Stephen was talking about. Like, this is a situation that I need to start recognizing. So here are just a couple of ways, because if you focus on too many things, then we start to get scatterbrained and nothing really happens. So I want you to focus on a couple of things when you're talking with motivated sellers or when the lead first comes across your desk. The biggest thing when we're wholesaling houses is there needs to be equity, okay? If they owe $100,000 on a $110,000 house, in almost every market, there's not enough equity there for there to be a wholesaling deal. The general rule of thumb is we're getting houses under contract for 40 to 60 cents on the dollar. And if they owe what the house is worth, sure, there could be a short sale there. Sure, there could be some other things that could happen. But it's recognizing that, hey, I want to focus on the leads where there's a lot of equity built in. And if there's no equity, there's no sense in wasting a ton of time on that lead, because there's nothing, a buyer on the back end is going to want, their biggest criteria, even more than location, is equity. Can they make money? So I want you to focus on the leads where there's equity. The same type of thing if, the person has that $100,000 house and, they're saying the dead deal cues and they're like, Stephen, I just had a realtor out to the house. I'm having an appraiser. I just fixed the property up to the nines. I see a lot of the sales in the area for 100, 150,000. I really think I can get 175,000 for it. And you start looking it up on the auditor site, you start looking it up, doing your analysis, and you think, oh, maybe this house is worth 100, 120, something in that range, and they're wanting full value or over full value. It's getting to the point really quickly and saying, Mr. Seller, I certainly appreciate where you're coming from. You do have the option of listing it with a realtor. I'm coming from the investor perspective, and here's a few benefits of, going with a cash investor. But this may or may not be the best fit for you. Here's a few benefits for you. It sounds like you're wanting full value. Have you ever thought of listing the property? So, sometimes I find it very helpful to kind of, just shoot it to them straight and say, if we were to work something out, a lot of times I'm around 70% of the market value minus repairs. We always do our very best, and we do our due diligence to submit you a very fair offer. It's very straightforward. You don't have to worry about us getting financing. And I'll list some benefits. If your situation, Mr. Seller, ever changes and this cash price, I'd be somewhere around this ballpark. I'd be around 50,000 cash or 60,000 cash. If that ever's more attractive to you, to be honest with you, I see a lot of sales in the area around 100,000, and you're asking for around 150. You might want to consider listing it with a realtor. So I used to, kind of go through the song and dance with those type of leads, but I realized, it's just better to get right to the point because they're asking something that we're never going to be able to pay. So I might as well just shoot it straight with them and to focus my time on leads that I can actually help and where we can create a win-win solution together. So I want you to focus on leads that have equity. I want you to focus on sellers who are saying the right things. If they're talking about how the house was just fixed up to the nines, they just had it appraised, they're telling you how pristine every room is, very likely they're not going to want to take an offer that's 50 cents on the dollar. Whereas if you're talking to a seller, maybe that just inherited a property or they just relocated, or maybe they're a tired landlord and they're just like, oh my gosh, Steven, I am so sick and tired of that house. I don't ever want to step foot into there. Somebody just ripped out the copper. It was, there was a window that was just broken. I'm sick and tired of driving across town and shoveling the driveway or mowing the grass, keeping the lights on in that property. I just don't want anything to do with it. It's just stressing me out. We already have a home and now we have this rental property or we have this inherited property. I've had a bad experience in the past with a realtor. I really don't want to list it. And they're starting to say some of those motivational things, and there's true motivation on there. And what I like to do is I like to pre-frame people, okay? I like to say, hey, Mr. Jones, I just want to let you know up front, if you're looking to get absolutely 100% top dollar pristine value for your house, this might not be a good fit for you, right? I am an investor. I am looking to make money on the property, but I always do my due diligence. I'm not just going to lowball you. I'm going to do my due diligence. A lot of times we're around 70% of the market value minus repairs. But the cool thing about that is X, Y, and Z. Okay, and so I'm kind of painting them the picture. So right then and there from our first phone call, I'm answering some of the questions that are happening in their mind. And that's something, my friend, you want to write down. If everybody is asking themselves questions in their mind. Who the heck are you? Can I trust you? Are you just going to lowball me? So if you can get to the point where you're anticipating some of those questions, that person is going to feel so connected with you because they're like, oh my gosh, Steven, how did you know that? How did you read my mind? So it's very simple things you can say. And also most people, not all people, but most people will appreciate you just shooting it straight with them, saying, hey, I realize this might not be a good fit for you, but just in case it is, here's how I can help you. And that way, you're doing that with every single lead with the full realization that 80% of them are going to say, hey, no, that doesn't work for me, or that's not what I need right now, but I like the way you presented that, so stay in touch with me. Now, they don't say those exact words, but that's what happens, and then you can follow up with them, because just because they don't want to sell right now doesn't mean they, don't ever want to sell. So guys, a lot of this stuff is follow-up as well. It's pre-framing them. It's planting those right seeds. So by having those proper conversations up front, you're kind of weeding through the ones that are never going to be a deal anyways. And for the big chunk, the 80% that they're just not ready right now, they're going to remember that, man, he answered some of the questions and the objections that I had in my mind. He was honest with me up front, presented a very good solution, and he was just real with me. They're going to remember that. You're planting a seed for the future. So my friend, one of the most important things that you can do for your business is to realize that you need to do a lot of marketing, a lot of, you need to be talking with a lot of sellers. But just doing that is not enough. You need to develop the skill. Okay, it's a skill. It's not going to be developed overnight, but just by hearing this video, you're going to propel yourself above the rest, because you're going to start to become aware slowly but surely. You need to become better and better and better at recognizing, is this a dead deal? Are they saying the wrong things? Is there equity? Is there anything that could ever happen here? Or do I just need to say, no, I can't help you, this is not a good fit, and move on to the leads that you can help? Because if you're trying to chase 100 rabbits or even 3 rabbits, you're going to catch none. You have to be laser focused, and you have to get good at sorting and sifting and identifying the very, very hot leads. So my friend, I hope this video resonated with you, and make sure you start to put that into practice, and I bet you will see a spike in your business. As long as you stay true to that, it's going to serve you well. So it was my pleasure making this video. I'll see you guys in the next training, and have an awesome day. Thank you so much.